Hey, second grade. Today off of the supply table, you're going to get one big sheet of paper, you're going to get one paintbrush, and you're going to get one piece of magazine. You're going to go back to your table and you're going to put your name on the back of that big sheet of paper. Mr. Calvert, either to A, B, or C. I'm going to flip it over. And after you have flipped over your paper and you've got your name on it, you are going to take your piece of newspaper and you need to go to the table that your paint is. So obviously that your paper is, excuse me. You can see I have a purple paper, so I need to go to the purple paint and I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to glob out some paint onto my page. All right, that's about all I need. So I did like 3 scoops. Then you're going to go back to your seat and raise your hand. After you've sat and raised your hand, I'm going to come around. I'm going to add just a little bit of white to your paper as well. That's about all it takes. And you are going to be mixing tints today. So I'm going to take my brush. I already have a bunch of purple on it. I probably don't even need to take any more. I'm going to mix that into my white just a little bit. See, it's barely turning purple. It's a nice lavender color, almost the same color as my paper. I'm mixing it. Notice that I'm not mixing it all over my entire sheet of magazine paper. I'm kind of keeping it in a small puddle, because the smaller I can keep my puddle, the more of that paint I'm going to have to be able to use. After I've got it mixed up, I am going to draw a mountain kind of towards the top of my paper. So not obviously at the very tippy top, but probably right about here. So over halfway. Your mountains can look like what you want them to look like. Maybe you've got some big ones, maybe you've got some smaller ones, all the way across your paper. Like that. After I've got them outlined, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill that in just a little bit. This. So I'm adding that paint down my mountain. I need to do that all the way across. Alright, after I've gotten that done, you can see I did my mountain. I painted it down just a little bit. I'm going to take some of that purple, take a little glob, mix it in with that puddle that I just mixed. And it's going to get a little bit darker, so it's going to get a little bit closer to being purple. Notice that when I do this, when I mix tints, I always add the color to the white. You never add white to the color. After I've got another tint mixed, I'm going to paint out another mountain range. This one you can hardly even tell that it's different, but it is. I know it's not going to show up any different on my smartboard. I'm going to paint this a little bit. You're going to do this 4 times. Make sure to paint down your paper a little bit. Once again, taking some purple, mixing it in with my white. Slide it up so you can see what I'm doing. If you don't think that it's getting purple enough, then just add a little bit more purple. Right, maybe I want to get this a little bit darker, so I'm going to add some more purple. So you can see the difference in my mountains a little bit easier. So I can do another one. And I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to do one more. So I'm really going to end up just below halfway on my paper. Because next time we have to come in and we have to add some shades. So don't get too low on your paper. And this time, last time, I'm going to add a whole bunch of purple. I'm just going to use up the rest of it, I think. Mixing that in. And I'm going to do one last mountain. And I'm going to paint that in as well, painting it down. All right. When you get this far, you are done for the day. Brush is going to go in the paintbrush bin. Your magazine piece goes right into the garbage. We don't need it anymore. Be careful not to make a mess when you're throwing that away. So I started off, I got my art supplies, then I went and I scooped out a little bit of the color I needed onto my magazine page. I sat down, raised my hand, and Mr. Calvert's going to come over and put some white on your paper. Then you're going to mix just a little bit of that color into your white, and you're going to paint a mountain pretty close to the top of your paper. Then you're going to mix a little bit more of your color in. You're going to paint a second mountain range. You're going to mix a little bit more of that color into your white. You're going to paint a third mountain range. And last but not least, you're going to pretty much mix the last of your color into that white, and you're going to paint a fourth mountain range. All right, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4 mountain ranges. Make sure to clean up after yourself when you are finished.